Oh, okay, man. You touched on a lot, brother. Wow,
Yeah.
you said so much. So I
Mm,
want to respond to that a little bit. I
yeah.
guess you talked about healing. I think that's very important because, in particular, the black men they're often left out of this conversation,
Yes.
or
Agreed.
they don't have access to rehab, or like you say, a retreat or something to reprogram
Right.
them or
Right.
rebuild
Right.
them
Right.
or empower
Mm,
them and guide them because we go through a lot. Like for a black man to make it past 21, that's
mm,
already a feat. You know, you got to for the black
absolutely.
men to survive not
Yeah.
going to prison, not getting murdered, not ending up on drugs, not falling victim to the streets or child support or so many other things.
Yes.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just makes you wonder. I was reading
Absolutely.
this article. I was reading an article not too long ago, and it said that America perhaps is the only country in the world where men are sexually assaulted more than women, and a lot of
Mm,
it has to do with the prison system. Obviously,
mm,
a lot of black
wow.
people, a lot of Latinos, which are a
Mm,
lot of them are black. You know what I'm saying? They're
right.
getting used, and it affects the entire community. So it kind of makes you wonder, what is the black man in America going to behave like? What is he going to look like in the next
Mm,
50 years or the next 100 years?
wow.
So that just kind of leads into my next question. How do you feel as a black man in American society today?
Well, ultimately, I've learned how to have a level of constant uh, directed rage, right? I read a book earlier. It was called Black Rage by psychologist something, sociologist or whatever. But it gave a real historical context of how many black men have been denied what other men or perceived men have in this society, and without, for instance, a cultural, historical, economic, and political construct of all of the forces that have happened, that have attempted to emasculate men. Many are, sort of just ignorant of these forces, and they haven't like really collected their own consciousness. They haven't stopped to have a knowledge of self to direct that rage into a constructive uh, change. First internal, and then family, and then community, and to know how to interact in a transformative way, right? Because right now in Baltimore, every weekend we're talking about how many lives were lost. It's because of this misdirected rage that Amos Wilson talked about in Black on Black violence. So knowing, for instance, that I survived many of the streets, and many of the statistics that many black men um, fall under. I had to realize, okay, what is my duty? Like, I have to keep planting those seeds. I have to keep being free enough. I have to be independent enough. I must be healthy enough to connect different types of people to this underground railroad, if you will, right? Ultimately, if we even historically look at the underground railroad, many people, came together to assist and develop that. And so we have to ask ourselves, how do we, in a contemporary society, be these conductors, if you will? Because I don't think, there, some everybody ain't going getting free. Everybody don't think they need to get free. and everybody not going to be able to. They're not showing up at any rallies. Nope, the football game is on. Pastor said they don't need to be out there doing nothing. So ultimately, we have to find out, first and foremost, define who that we are, right? So that's where I am, and I'm always thinking about, myself, my own. How do I be empowered? How do I stay empowered? How do I empower others, right? And also knowing that we are at war, right? I don't say this rhetorically. I say it because it's a reality that, and unfortunately, sometimes when you have an unconscious mind or somebody under Amos was to talk about possession. When we're possessed by a non-African mind, we will do things that act against our own best interest. So ultimately, I have to realize that, and I know that not everybody going to be as deep African centered, because it took me years to really get these different ideas, as well as interacting with regular common people, just, organizing with, old senior citizens, so I'm still like on the ground as a Black man organizing, with the community, but I realize sometimes you have to grow and serve more people. So if I can say anything to other Black men, is be of service to yourself, be of service to your family, and, manage your time, your resources, and, just grow. Right. So that's where I am as a Black man, just striving to build power. And that's what we lack ultimately is power. And we have to define it and then acquire it. So I'll just say that, my brother.